Yeah, no, I'll just settle back in to my microphone, to my seat. Let me just unroll this scroll, which contains all the slurs I was called the last 2 weeks, and we can revisit them together. How does that sound?
Let's go for it. I want to litigate this. Let's go.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Well, Jennifer called me a transphobe.
I recanted that one, so scratch that off the list.
Kyle strangely and boldly called me a homophobe, which I think requires a lot of unpacking. So we'll go into that one privately, I suppose. I think Craig called me a bitch at least once.
No.
No.
Point of clarification. I said that you were suffering from dumb bitch disease. That's
Totally
two different things.
Yep.
Two different things.
Craig, what do you call somebody suffering from leprosy?
A leper.
Right. So pretty similar to calling someone with dumb bitch disease a bitch.
No, see, this is a semantic game. I'm not gonna be gotcha'd. Okay. So I sent you the Venmo money so you could get the test, the A/B test of whether or not you were suffering from dumb bitch disease. You just bought more Yuri with it, and I feel like my care has not been reciprocated. And I should say, to the listeners, we've blown all of our Patreon money sending Josh to conversion therapy. And this is what we get in return. So
that's actually true. This is my third day on the Tucker Carlson show. It's going very poorly. They won't let me into the ritual whipping room. So I fear I might have wasted your dollars. Glad to be back. Glad to be back on the ones and twos.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you to the detestable Kyle DeLita for helping my co-host hold it down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You're listening to SWIMFANS. Okay, this is not info wars. This is info whores.
Yes.
This is not Jubilee 20v1 Josh McKenzie versus 20 friends/haters.
This is your SWIMFANS unknown pleasures for the week. I am your co-host, just jamming my limbs through any number of holes. I'm Josh McKenzie.
Oh, I'm apartment hole, Craig Neeson.
I'm cinematic fire extinguisher enthusiast Jennifer Hawking.
I was waiting for someone.
You have no idea how disappointed I was.
You got your hand hovering over someone gets a beat over the head button, and you didn't get to push it. I felt so bad.
Letterbox open on my phone, come on. The proximity is matching between my phone and the add button is matching the proximity between their heads and the fire extinguishers.
even just a mild contact, it would have allowed you to count, but it's a shame.
No dice.
This week on the podcast, we are talking 1998 Tsai Ming-liang film, The Hole.
Just do it.
That's what they called Craig in art school.
Yep.
Get his ass. Guess who's back,
Oh.
baby?
Okay, as if I didn't pay both of y'all's fucking tuition would be in the hole.
That's true. We actually do have to thank The Hole for our master's degrees, Jennifer.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you, The Hole.
Yeah, shouts out.
Okay, so if you haven't seen The Hole, this movie takes place in somewhere in Taiwan. There's a pandemic going on. But it's the bug disease. It makes you into a cockroach man. So you at first kind of get the flu. And then you scuttle around on the floor and you crave dark spaces. So you turn into a bug, basically. Aside from that, so they're telling everyone to move out of this neighborhood in Taiwan, Taipei, I presume, to move out of their neighborhood and go somewhere else because they're shutting off essential services, all under quarantine to sort of lock down the bug disease. But there are some people who are not leaving. This is where they live, and they are not leaving. So we have the man upstairs and we have the woman downstairs. And one last thing to note is that it is constantly raining. There is no break from the rain. It is raining from second one to credits rolling in the film. So right away we get this sense of just being sort of like drenched and moldering. The man upstairs is sleeping. A plumber comes by and he's like, hey, the apartment below you is like leaking incredibly badly. Like, let me look around your apartment. And the plumber like drills a hole through this guy's like stone floor, concrete floor, into the apartment below where the woman lives. And the plumber just leaves without repairing this hole. So the woman, her apartment is fully decaying. Like, it's just like actively soaked. She appears to be like hoarding like some kind of paper product, like toilet paper or paper towel or something. That's sort of like her deal, is that she likes to collect that. And we can see like the wallpaper on her apartment is like peeling off. It's incredibly dank and disgusting in there. And there's now a hole in her ceiling that directly connects to the man upstairs' living room. So these two were once strangers to each other, but now they begin to sort of annoy each other through this hole. The woman uses some kind of like air freshener or like some other sort of like scent making device that like repulses the man upstairs. Meanwhile, he continues to get like blackout drunk and sleeps through his alarm, which drives her insane because she can now hear it through the hole. So finally, like, she goes to he sells like food in like the base. Like, I've seen these sort of buildings in Europe where like there's like a whole like mercantile level to like an apartment building. And I believe he's in the same building, just in like the basement level. And he's like the one guy down there, and he has like a food stall for like the three other people in existence here. So he sets up his shop every day, and at some point the woman comes downstairs and she's like, hey, can you stop being so fucking annoying through your hole? I'm going to get the plumber to come by and fix everything, so can you just be there at X time to facilitate that? So they're trying to end this. They don't do that. The hole isn't fixed. So like they try various different mechanisms to plug the hole themselves. Like the woman downstairs like jams a mop up there to try to plug the hole up. The man upstairs takes like the lid of like a wok and puts it over top to try to sort of like to stop this hole's transfer of whatever. So they're sort of fighting this sort of cohabitation against their will. Meanwhile, the woman, she's having like these musical break segments where she's like envisioning herself as this like sort of glamorous starlet, and she performs like 3 or 4 musical numbers on the various like steps and stairs of this apartment building that they're in. And it's sort of like this little reality break from the dinge and the water and the bug disease. She just gets 3 or 4 little musical breaks where she gets to wear a pretty dress and sort of like, you know, just dazzle us. And they're very dreamlike. It implies dreaming to me. The movie sort of wraps up with the guy. He like puts his leg. This is like a big deal for some reason. He like puts his leg through the hole, and then he gets like kind of stuck. The woman doesn't seem to notice. And then pretty soon after that, she contracts bug disease. So she has her flu-like symptoms, and then she sort of like crawls under a pile of her hoarded paper goods, I think like to die. But at the last like couple minutes of the movie, the guy opens up the hole, and then her apartment is pitch black because she has bug disease. But you can see like this beam of light from his apartment. She sort of like stirs at the light, and he reaches down to hand her like a glass of water, which she eagerly gulps down. And then the man lifts her up through the hole, which is interesting because the hole is much too small for a human person to pass through, but she does. And the last scene of the movie is one final like dreamlike dance scene, except for now the man upstairs and the woman downstairs are dancing together in like a slow dance. What do we think of the whole?
I thought this was great. I loved this. I like how it blended the kind of like sparse longing of this director's style with like this more kind of dystopian thing. Like, I thought it was a great use of like a near future setting, and it's not like a YA style dictatorship where everyone like speaking truth is outlawed or whatever. Like, it's just like the government just like doesn't fucking care about you. Like, no one's coming to save you, and everything just slowly gets like worse and worse, and everyone just gets like more miserable until they break. I love that like no one is coming to fix the hole. No one ever fixes the hole. I don't think anyone would ever come to do it. And I like that it just kind of sits you in this slow misery for 90 minutes. It's not a terribly uplifting movie. I do like the musical numbers. Even if I don't fully understand like the context of these songs, like there's like a end card at the, like before the credits roll where it's like, well, at least we have the music of, you know, this person. I don't know who that person is, and I've never heard any of these songs before, but they are fun and they do like a good job of like breaking up like the intentional kind of like monotony of suffering of the rest. The cast I think is good. I think they do a completely fine job of sitting there and, you know, looking bored. But like they do it really well, you know, like that's probably hard to do for like a 5-minute take or whatever. And like all the takes look really good. I love how everything is like designed and laid out, and I love these just like stark concrete, just empty hallways and like that mall or whatever, and like just all these fire extinguishers, and like it's raining all the time, so there's probably not going to be any fires anytime soon. Everything's made of concrete, so that's not flammable either, but like don't worry, they got like 2,000 fire extinguishers everywhere. Yeah, it hit me pretty hard. This is like a weird thing is so I found this on one of my websites. I don't have Canopy, and I feel like it was sped up just like 3% or something. It was very very strange.
Weird.
Because because I was looking it up and it's like, no, it's 90. Everything said this is 95 minutes, but mine was like 89 minutes, and I don't think I lost anything. I can't imagine they would make like cuts to it that would like total that amount. And it did seem like everyone was moving just slightly faster than reality. It was very strange. Anyway, I thought this slapped. Good job, man.
I thought this was super solid. I liked seeing Collaborator. I know I've seen Goodbye Dragon Inn. I've seen Rebels of the Neon God. Apparently, Lee Kong Shong, if I'm saying that correctly, is just like in all of his movies.
Yeah.
And I actually love to see that. It was really exciting to see him once again wearing tidy whities. I feel like the budget
Good
in there
Lord.
stipulated that he wear tidy whities.
I think he's always supposed to be the same character as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I saw that as well.
Oh, wow, that's fascinating. You know, like it's clear, like this is like the most clear cut in terms of, like romance A to B, man, woman. I think that I've seen from him, but it still manages to be kind of gay.
Yeah.
You know, I feel it, even though like, you know, I read the gesture at the end as more of a connection rather than a romantic thing, even though it does show us them dancing in slow motion with like a fan, you know, blowing their beautiful outfits and in slow motion. So yeah, like the general conceit like is great. I mean, it's carried with an artistic direction that really just you know, sonically and visually puts you in the wettest movie ever. You know, it is constantly raining. You know, I'm like actively worried about mold. You know.
My skin was crawling. Yeah.
The wallpaper, the towels being used to sop everything up. You know, the uncertainty of like whether the water that they're consuming from the tap is potable, because you know there's some doubt cast on it by some sort of, you know, incidental like TV playing in the background in the beginning. So yeah, it's all like super fraught, you know, and I love that idea of like, you know, the individual apartments being, you know, like these really dreary containments, and in the hallways, like as close as this movie gets to like liberation is like a space for like fantasy. At one point, you know, she does like kind of wake up from a dream of like the dance sequence.
Yeah.
But that's like the only time we're ever given like an in film kind of reason for these sudden, very expressive, often very colorful, synchronized music video dancing things. I think I think a lot of media has tried to like capture or like riff on the COVID-19 pandemic, and they really come up pretty short. I've really not seen anything that really, I don't know, that at least articulates my experience of it. This comes really close, actually. I think just broadly, even like not seeing it through the prism of the early COVID years, but just in general, that idea of people in their apartments, and like the gift and the curse of the like the ultimate barrier of like concrete being kind of allowed open, right? It not only does it allow bodily fluids to pass from one apartment to another, mostly down, but also human connection. I think just broadly, it's there's a lot of really fascinating things happening here. Like whether a door is like closed or open, or there's a lot of like watching like his vendor little stall thing, like open or close, or he's like locking it. There's a lot about like doors, and they're like, I don't know, they're closing off of like connection. And maybe even like the pensive hope that like the little kid on his bike is someone that's greeting you at the door. Like it really does capture a particular kind of loneliness, a particular type of like, how do I say it, like a poverty, like a poverty of like connection, and a poverty of material, and a poverty of just everything. And the like the ultimate like beautiful gesture that like one can extend help and care like to another through a hole in like the barrier of like the contract of like, I have my house, you have yours, we're separate, ultimately we have nothing in common, and then this like device of the hole kind of explodes it in a really interesting way, in a subtle way. It's pensive, and it's quiet, and it's thoughtful, like all the other films, but it's simple, and I think I mean that as a positive. Doesn't get drearier than this.
Do you know what really fucked me up while watching? The sensory, the feeling of being in a soaking wet apartment and having like the plastic of like a toilet paper wrapper like touching your skin. Oh,
yeah.
But like times 100 because she's surrounded by them.
Yeah.
that for some reason was worse than the moldy wallpaper and worse than the wet floor. It was like the like wet toilet paper wrapper.
Squeak.
It was a sensory nightmare for me. I talked about it when we did our Rebels of the Neon God episode 100,000 years ago, but that was one of my biggest like film experiences when Jennifer and I lived together. Like that movie just like blew my face off, and it's become one of my favorites. But I actually haven't seen that many Tsai Ming-liang movies. So this was a bold step forward, which is why I chose it for Unknown Pleasures, because it's a director whose work I need to see more of. Yeah, I think this is really shockingly compelling for a movie that's two people in a hole. It's quite, like Craig said, like restrained, quite small. But yeah, I think it's beautiful. For me, I think the whole like sort of the metaphor there is like like when you meet somebody, like you typically when you meet people, at least, okay, typically when I meet people, I'm not like looking to make a connection necessarily. Like I'm not like out there with my arms open wide being like, come be my friend. It's not necessarily how I interact with the world and with other people. But when that sort of gate is opened, then, you know, I am able to find connection and that sort of thing. And to me, that's sort of like what the whole is. It's like two people, like the concrete, I think, being like their personal, like emotional walls there. And there's this crack that forms between these two people. And at first it's quite abrasive, and they're, you know, driving each other insane through this sort of notch in their respective defenses. But that sort of opening ends up being like a life-saving thing. It ends up being a thing that with, you know, adjustment and just getting used to it becomes something that can save a person, is that sort of ability to touch and be touched. So I think in that way, it's really, for me, quite a lovely metaphor. The bug disease stressed me out. I'm like, if I get bug disease, I'll just end it all. Like, I'm not going to seek a dark, wet place. I'll just end it all. If I become a human cockroach, it's over. I just want that on the record. Yeah, I mean, I think the presentation is like what Do the Right Thing did for heat, this movie does for being wet. It's just so cinematically pervasive that I feel wet watching it. It's incredibly unpleasant. So I mean, like, you know, the movie does a lot with so little. You know, the acting is compelling. I like how sort of coolly distant they are. I think Tsai Ming-liang is so good at that. I love the little musical segments. It's just fun to watch this actress like feel her oats like on various like stairwells and hallways. I like the one particularly that's about like sneezing or whatever, or she just keeps saying Gesundheit over and over again. That was my favorite number. I just like filmically, I really like those because, and you know, this is probably the purpose, but it really shocks you out of how dreary the rest of the movie is because she's in like a pretty dress. Things aren't, I mean, it's the same building. Like, it's not like the building gets a makeover, but things aren't actively wet and dripping. She's just in like a fun dress and the building is normal. But I guess it's not really true. In that first number, like the hallway is still dark, but the elevator is like glowing. Yeah, I liked this. To me, it wasn't quite as sublime as Rebels of the Neon God, but most things aren't. So that's okay. I think it was still quite a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, to the point of the setup being, and not some kind of like grand conspiracy, but simply, we're abandoning this part of the city because we'd rather not deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're cutting off the water on New Year's, and yeah, you should probably leave.
Oh well.
Yeah. This is like, yeah, this big like shrug. Yeah, and like the hoarding of things, you know, like her like plastic sealed packages of like tissue, plus like you know, there's a box that reads like onion flavor, which I'm taking to be her instant noodles that they're like subsisting on. You know, it, like like in that way, like there wasn't I don't know, it made it feel like it lends a kind of groundedness to, you know, what you would like largely understand to be, what I understand to largely be a genre, you know, the kind of infection genre, the virus genre. What, Jennifer, what's the movie where the monkey has like the kill
Outbreak?
all the people? Thank you. The amazing film Outbreak. You know, like
the amazing poster for the movie Outbreak.
Is it like the monkey and Morgan Freeman, or
it's 3 heads, a gradient, and then like a photo of a monkey, but the monkey does not match the gradient behind it.
Holy shit, that's an amazing poster.
Like, no one cared. It's incredible.
Sorry,
they want how much for a poster? No, I can do it. And then they turn in that.
Just get fucking high as hell, forget about your deadline, and then you have 3 hours to turn this in.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah. Graphic design is my fucking passion. It's interesting. It sets up the monkey to be an actor, which is very great. You know, like he's on equal footing with Morgan Freeman and Dustin Hoffman. But yeah, like, but you know, it's always so overblown, right? There's hazmat suits. I mean, I get, you know, at one point, like, essentially, like, exterminators come. Like, that's as like close as we get to, you know, the kind of like grandiose, you know, decontamination suits, or like, you know, isn't there a moment in Outbreak where the female, like, supporting actress, she pricks herself accidentally, and it's like this like crazy, like oh my god, like this like insane moment where she, you know, is like infected with the monkey disease. But this movie, you know, really doesn't do that. You know, it's like, you know, we hear a couple of reports, like I think two, of like, yeah, there was a guy hanging out under his bed for like 8 hours, and we brought him to like the sanitarium, and then it's like, you know, the guy that our lead kind of like sees turn into a cockroach and go into the sewer. It's like, yeah, he was like in the sewer for like 6 hours, but we fished him out. Yeah, there's something just like, because like, I think a big part of like the COVID thing, at least for me, was like there's also like a profound banality to it. You know, like it was like happening, but also it was really boring. You know, it's it was frightening, but also it was a kind of like malaise, or a kind of like ennui. You know, I remember like being in the grocery store, and like all the aisles were cleaned out, and like being like stuck between a kind of like fascination and a kind of boredom. Yeah, I you know, I think yeah, like, all that to say is that it keeps it like just grounded. You know, the and the kind of like futile attempts to like maintain like a sense of normalcy. You know, like she's like doing her best to keep her wallpaper on. At least until she's like gets tired of it, and she, you know, upon like calling the plumber and having like phone sex with the plumber. You know,
that's so awesome. I love having phone sex with a guy when my apartment decomposes.
Yeah, and I'm like, is she trying to get him to fix that hole? Because that's not a bad strat, actually. But it, you know, it ends up being, I mean, but it ends up being something like a little more like profound, right? She is clearly like starved for human connection, like, understandably. So I'm sure like whatever the guy was saying about like, you know, copper, how to properly bend and like, you know, steel copper pipe together was like really getting her off. But yeah, like the and yeah, I mean, there's a kind of like I don't quite know how to frame this, other than it's like your little allocated, like, okay, I guess I'll go into this. There's a moment in The Holy Mountain where there's a one of the characters is selling this idea of apartments, and he takes off it's like the circus thing, and he takes the cloth off of it to reveal it, and it's a bunch of coffins stacked on each other. Like that's his like vision for how people should live in an apartment building, that they're all just little coffins. And yeah, you have these like very nondescript, like barely ornamented little concrete holes that they live in. I mean, yeah, there's something like yeah, like this wouldn't be happening to them if they existed in like a different class. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
This visitation of wetness and disease and isolation is a visitation precisely because they are, yeah, that they exist in a class that, you know, is like hostage to, like, you know, landlords and paying rent and coming home to your rented apartment. Yeah, it all, like, and I guess in that way it is, to me, my thesis that I'm rounding out here is that it feels vastly more impactful than the end of the world scenarios that you're often confronted with like viral whatevers, you know. Yeah, like the virus equals end of world, like almost necessarily. You know, and like it's refreshing to see it as a kind of like, yeah, as something that's like a little more reasonable, or like a little more like what would, I mean, again, it feels to me like prescient, or like an observation made like before like a major calamity, at least in like I mean, this is the late 20th century, but it's I mean, COVID also existed in this realm where its punishment was exacted, precisely on lower class people, and like it feels like just extremely well articulated and observed to formulate a viral scenario like this.
Yeah, I felt like there was almost it like almost felt like some kind of class critique, even though I'm not entirely sure it was the guy's fault that his apartment is mostly fine, except for the hole in the ground, and then she's just living in misery directly underneath him. He's so close to her proximity wise, but her place is flooding like crazy. She's breaking down crying in her bed because her mattress is wet now. There's if he flushes the toilet, it negatively impacts her apartment, and so it feels like there is some kind of place in society thing going on there, even if I don't really think the guy did anything, and both of them should probably be fine. But in a just world, they would both be about the same level. But I definitely got some stuff there.
Yeah, and sort of tying into what Craig said, I think there's something interesting here about this pandemic. I don't know, in a movie like Outbreak, where you have a radical monkey or whatever, there's the horror is the virus, the horror is the disease and then dying from the disease. I don't even know that the cockroach disease kills you. You might just become a bug. I don't even know if you're a bug forever. You might just stop being a bug eventually. I have no idea, because the movie's not concerned with that. The movie really, because there's not horror of illness or fear of illness necessarily, you instead get this, you're both saying, this sort of marinating in the ennui of a pandemic where everything is shut down. The man upstairs is the only person doing, you see there's several shutters down there. There's conceivably several shops in that basement level, but he's the only one open. He has a customer who wants bean sauce, and that's his only customer once. So it's not this horror or fear of illness. It's really more of this melancholy of isolation. This not only have we been abandoned by the government, not only is it raining nonstop, not only are our metaphorical apartments decomposing, there's bug disease. But that's the fourth concern. It's the bug disease.
Yeah.
The isolation is the horror. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, the bug disease is apt, right? It's they become vermin, they become something like unsightly. It's a Gregor Samsa shit. Although that's just my boss needs to leave me alone, and I have issues with my dad specifically, but the fact that they're reduced to insects, which then their apartment complex, at least the level that has a shops or whatever gets fumigated. They're kind of irrespective of whether or not there are there are cats living there, or there are people living there. It's just let's just deet this whole place, It's that fucking what's that fucking annoying movie where it's Sean Penn and then you see dinosaurs?
Tree of Life.
Tree of Life, right? It's all the kids running in the DEET cloud, right? They're super it's oh, it's cool and it's awesome, and then it's but we're supposed to understand the kind of the with our vantage point in the 21st century, we can understand that DEET is a carcinogen and blah 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 blah. But they're just fumigating these poor people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their cats.
So true. Yeah.
I kept thinking that the bug illness wasn't really real. It was more just people going crazy or something, and that it was more of a metaphor for a lower class. I don't know. Did you guys get that? Or, I mean, we do see one guy acting like a bug, though.
To me, like, because it's such a non part of the movie. To me, it seems like I see what you're saying, and that could very well be it. To me, it seems more like a sort of physicalization of like the seeking of isolating this sort of like continued fear of intimacy of like another. So you contract bug disease and you like are even more resistant to seeing other people. You just live in disgusting, dank corners and rot there. But I mean, like, there's definitely like, I think there's a very easy class reading to this entire movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like it's a material affliction as well as like a psychological one. You know, like you live in the hole, and then like a natural continuation of living in the hole is like just continuing to like, you know, do animorphs but like turn into a cockroach. You know, so right, like it's a like, you know, much like city planning also like affects psychology and so on, and design of buildings affects psychology. You know, people's like it's not like this isn't. I'm not talking crystals here. I mean, it's just like, yeah, you eventually like become the thing that you're like treated as, or like, you know, you succumb to the kind of like. Internally, you succumb to like the indignity of, being a wet creature, a wet scuttling thing.
I don't know if this will change your like perspective on the movie, but The Hole was made. So there was a French like collective, Haute Écoute, who like sponsored this. It's called the 2000 Scene By project. So what they did was they went to 10 different countries and had them make a movie being like, what is the new millennium going to look like? And then you make a movie about that. And so The Hole was Taiwan's entry to this film project.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if that would like affect, I mean, for me that does affect my reading of the movie a little bit, because it's like it seems like what Tsai is seeing for the future is like continued isolation, continued fragmentation, continued like decay, with only like momentary bursts of like human connection. And I can't say 26 years later that he was wrong necessarily. But yeah, so it was. There were 10 films made for this project, and this was Taiwan's entry.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
but no, I think that basically lines up with my reading.
Yeah, there are there's some French touches here. Dr. Carpentier is mentioned at one point, describing. I was wondering what this French thing was, and some French people are thanked at the end credits rather.
Never thank the French.
Never. What have they
You
done
under
for
no circumstances gotta hand it to them.
What has Jean-Luc Godard done for you today? Ask not what. Oh, that's interesting. And I think I see that. You know, I see the idea of the atomization, the fragmentation, makes sense.
Yeah, I think I really like that asked to look forward to, you know, of course this movie had an incredibly small budget, so that's part of it as well, but like asked to look forward into the future. This was sort of the vision. Like there wasn't any like it wasn't a fear of technology necessarily. It wasn't like, there's no like, I don't think anything particularly like Y2K coded here. There's no even, I mean, like there's an apocalyptic feel to the fact that this neighborhood has been abandoned by the government, but like the movie's just so barely about that to me, that it's really just this like pondering on isolation and like I think that's really like prescient to have seen and being like, this is what the year 2000 will be like.
Yeah.
He was paying attention, I fear. Another fun fact, these actors did not get along. So that's interesting.
Oh.
Yeah. The man upstairs and the woman downstairs apparently did not get along. But the man upstairs is Tsai's specialist, his Orbo.
Yeah. His goody good boy.
Yeah. Although the actress, I'm sorry, what is her name? Yang Kui Mei. She's also been in other sci films. So even though they didn't seem to click on this movie, apparently it wasn't enough to fracture any sort of working relationship. But yeah, I feel like you don't often hear about. Well, I guess you do sometimes hear about like active animosity on the set between actors. Interesting. I never
Usually
think about
only when
that.
it's like really bad do you hear about it. Do the rumors start?
Right. I mean, it is like it could be that they're just very adept actors, but that the time where she confronts him, she comes to the shop, she just kind of is observant, like kind of like half interested in this like little dried mushroom that she's picked from a bag. But she's like, yeah, stop using the fucking toilet or whatever. Like it's icy. Like it's so
Yeah.
like it's the most like inhuman. Like there's no transaction. There's no. It's just like don't do this. Yeah, like there's just barely a pretense of anything other than like stop making my life worse. And that like. Yeah, like, yep. I think it might be a little too easy to snap to like he's above her and she's below, but like she is the recipient of his. I mean, what is the first thing he fucking does? He pukes through the goddamn hole.
Uh-huh.
It's revolting, like, that idea of like a literal fucking caste system. She gets what comes fucking downstream from him. Icy between the two of them. I mean, appropriately so.
Yeah, I obviously don't like speak Mandarin or whatever, but like the subtitles for that scene were like, "Can you stop using the toilet?" And I'm just like, "Go off, Queen."
Get his ass.
Yeah, he can fucking hold it.
Yeah. There's no like couching it. There's no like. There's no hey, there's no like apologia, but there's no like, all these kind of like Midwestern politenesses that like I would almost necessarily engage in, like, hey, sorry to bother you at your business. However, I don't
At
want
your decomposing
urine.
building. Yeah.
Like your urine is spilling on my bed. But it's just, it's ice cold and like, I do love the shot, there's this kind of like central like open area in the apartment building, and there's trash like intermittently falling through the frame from the top to the bottom, and like we're seeing like him framed way up high, and we have her like down below, and like they kind of make like eye contact at one point. But yeah,
That shot is
just
gorgeous.
yeah, no, it's fantastic, and it really, really does like, create this, that it just reinforces that feeling of distance, of like complete, even again, like what separates them is like a couple, like whatever, 6 inches of concrete. But it's actually a lot. It's a lot, and maybe it's more than just the concrete that separates them. They're all they're both in their little roles until they're not.
Yeah, those scenes as well. So like, yeah, they're on their respective balconies, and like, I don't know, I love they're doing like a dance almost, because like each of them keeps like edging their way into the conceivable sight line of the other, but each of them is like trying not to look at the other, but they also but like they could easily solve this problem by like not being in the sight line of the other person, but each of them continues to like move when one person moves, the other person moves to be sort of within sight of them. And to me, it just feels like such a natural, like metaphorical progression of this idea of like connection that wasn't perhaps on purpose, but is now sort of developing. And like, even though this guy pisses you off, like he's at first, he's somebody that, you're forming this sort of connection with. And so like, I love the idea that they're basically trying not to connect, even though they can't help connecting.
Yeah.
And they just, Sai like frames that so beautifully. There's the shot where the woman is, she's sort of like close in frame, and like the railing's behind her, and the guy is quite far in frame on his own railing, and they've both like sidled into this position where they can still kind of look at each other, and she like glances over her shoulder and then pretends like she didn't, and then he finally leaves the frame, and she like fully turns around to like look to see if he's still there. It owns. I love it. I love that stuff. Was Goodbye Dragon Inn also Sai?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I've had that on Blu-ray for like 5 years, and I haven't
Oh, it's
popped it in the
fantastic.
machine.
Yeah. As
Yeah.
is Dragon Inn.
Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful film. Beautiful.
Did we
film.
watch that together, Craig?
I believe we did. Yeah.
Did we
I
watch
kinda-
Outbreak together?
I think we did. Honestly, I think we did. I think this movie awakened that part of my brain where I'm like, yeah, that fucking monkey disease movie.
That's so fucking funny.
I think that was a 7-Eleven purchase.
Oh,
when they used to
100%.
sell Blu-rays. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have any final thoughts?
Have you guys
on
seen
this?
Nightmare on Elm Street 4?
No, I don't think so.
There's a scene where a girl literally transforms into a cockroach, and it's so fucking disgusting. But I bring it up because it's like crazy timing, because it was just announced like literally like yesterday from recording this that the guy who did the special effects for the sequence had died back in February. They didn't tell anyone until yesterday though. So R.I.P. Screaming Mad George. We love you. He also did
Damn, that sucks.
the shunting scene at the end of Society.
Oh, okay.
A master of the form.
Yeah. A real icky guy.
A very slimy man. Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Well, I gave this 4 stars. I think it is pretty good. If you want to watch a movie about rain, look no further.
I gave it 4.5. It really hit me. I've been feeling pretty isolated, and there was a lot to resonate in here. Really I think I got a lot out of this, even though it's like kind of such like a simple like idea that it's a little hard to talk about in like a lot of detail, but it did really kind of make an impact.
Yeah, this 3.5 for me, like super solid. Like, it might be a little boring. I guess is my only. But like, I think his films are very sleepy and quiet necessarily. But like, this one kind of got to me. It felt way longer than its runtime.
Maybe this. I was just feeling dreary yesterday, so I was pretty locked in. I guess I was like, yeah, man. What if my toilet paper collection was rotting?
Yeah,
That'd be
and
terrible.
it was raining. It's been raining nonstop this summer in New York, so a lot of parallels here.
Well, glad to be back on the podcast. I feel like it's been longer than 2 weeks. Do we have any
We
questions?
missed you. I do not have any questions on my end.
No, neither do I.
Okay, well, folks, Kyle's gone, so you can ask questions again.
What was the
I'm
question
back.
we asked? We could ask you. I don't remember what it was though. I think it was like, is there any movie you were meaning to see that you haven't? I guess that means outside of the general unknown pleasures choices.
Yeah, I mean, one that I'm unlikely to pick just because it's so contemporary. I cannot wait to see teenage sex and death at Camp
Yes.
Miasma.
Oh yeah, I got to see that too.
I got to get to the theater. And actually, I'm really excited about the new Kiyoshi Kurosawa movie, too. The Samurai... What's it called? The Samurai and the... And the Prisoner. The Samurai and the Prisoner. That just came out as well, so I need to get to both of those at the theater.
Yeah.
I was looking at a marquee of a theater by me the other day, and I was like, damn, there's like 4 movies on here that I want to see.
Like what?
Oh, I want to see I Want Your Sex. I want to see Camp Miasma. I really loved Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, so I want to see Tony just because it's the next film by Matt Johnson. I think there was one more, but I'm kind of blanking on it. There was one more, but I can't think of it right now.
Word. Movies.
They're back.
Thank you. for listening. You can find the podcast wherever you get your shows. Okay, so that is Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. Wherever you are listening, please rate, please review, please tell a friend. Please do all of that good stuff. Thank you much. You can find the show on all the social medias. That is Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, use your SwimFans Pod. If you want to give us a follow over at those locations, that would also be cool. Oh, we're actually a little behind on this. You can follow the show. You can, if you want to, okay, at patreon.com/swimfans, we have Elite Dove content. For as low as $1 a month, you can get access to all of the Patreon SwimFans episodes. So if you want to support the show, you can do that there. And I'm online on social medias, ostensibly. User Amons, AMONNS. I have not been watching movies, you guys. It has been a low movie summer. I mean, I've been quite busy. That's why I wasn't on the show for a while. But like, I just like, I like look at my Letterboxd and it's like just SwimFans movies, and I'm like, who am I anymore? Yeah, I haven't seen anything. But I wasn't here for Totoro. I'll tell you what I thought about Totoro. How about that?
Oh yeah.
It's a good movie. So when I was a kid, because I didn't grow up with that movie, so I saw it when I was like a teenager, like my literal anime club, like not the SwimFans kind, but the actual anime club. I was like, yeah, that was fine, I guess. I didn't like remember any of it. It was just like clearly for kids. It was like Ponyo in that way, where it was like definitely for younger kids. So I didn't like get anything out of it. This time though, super cute. Obviously looked great. I would like to lay on Totoro's belly too. I think that should happen for me. Pretty fun. More fun than I expected to have with it, for sure. Jen.
You can follow me on Blue Sky, diatron5.swimfanspod.com. I'm on Letterboxd, Diatron. I watched the movie Dead Man on Campus this week. I watched it because at actually the college where we all met, I grew up nearby there, and and there was a few summers where we would hang out at it's the physical education instructional facility, but it's called the PEEF, you know?
Hell yeah, PEEF.
You guys remember the
yeah.
PEEF?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
For one summer where I was there a lot for some reason, they just had a poster up for the movie Dead Man on Campus, and I was always really kind of like puzzled by it, because the poster it's not like as bad as Outbreak, but it's not good. But it always kind of like stuck in my head just because like there's like two big faces and they're sharing one hat, but the hat isn't resting correctly, and there's this sort of like a girl's head slammed into a corner, and then there's like a noose hanging down, but the noose isn't like in perspective. It's just a shitty poster, but I was like meant to watch it, and I was like, well, now's the time, I guess. And that's not a very good movie. It does almost make a compelling case for its premise, which is about like two people who have like fucked up their grades, and they need to like get a roommate to kill himself so they can pass their classes or whatever. Like it's like based on like some old urban legend. And it needed to be like way darker and meaner, and I think it may have worked, but they try too hard to make the leads likable, and they are generally likable, but like it really needed to be about them trying to drive like them just like finding one guy and then just like focusing all their energy on getting him to kill himself or something. I think that would have been like a kind of a fun movie, but as it's a little too aimless. There's too many candidates, and it doesn't really kind of like it's not that good. Let me remake it though, and I would make the meanest movie you could imagine. Craig.
You can find me at Craig Neeson on Instagram and Letterboxd, CraigNeeson.com. Also haven't been doing a lot of movies, but we did finish Mob Psycho. And I altogether thought it was really fantastic. Great story about a young autistic guy that has psychic powers, and I'm sure there's like so much discourse about that on the internet that I don't even want to touch. But like, yeah, it's really sweet. I think it's like really charming. I've said all these things in the previous episodes talking about it, but like it's charming. I love all the characters. Yeah, it's very endearing, and it's only 3 seasons, so it's not like a huge commitment. Yeah, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. Yeah, fantastic. Love Mob Psycho, and Master Reagan, and all of his fantastic moves.
I think you'd be surprised. Mob Psycho is pretty universally beloved. I don't know that I've ever seen Discourse actually, which is rare.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
check that out.
Mob 100% has autism. like I'm sorry. There's a lot of like wish, like this character is autistic, or like Mob is like 100% autistic, and like I think that dynamic is like really fascinating, because he's surrounded by like neurotypical people, and getting like like actively swindled by his beloved master the entire time. It's really something.
Yeah. The one anime no one's ever discoursed about. Don't prove me wrong. If you
let's
find
keep it that
Discourse, I
way.
don't wanna
Let's
see
just
it. Yeah, I don't want to
let's keep it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.